Welcome back, Crits and Failures. This is the Critical Fail Podcast, a Dungeons & Dragons adventure where we bring you oral and video pleasure through your ear and eye holes as regularly as possible twice a week with dice and failures and successes and adventure. We just recorded our fourth session, so in a couple episodes, the YouTube videos will start to catch up with that fourth session, and it was a blast. We had a lot of great viewers on Twitch. We had a lot of great conversation and jokes and help and everything. People helping me, people helping the players, and overall, it was just a lot of fun. Everybody came away with big smiles, so I'm excited to roll that out. You'll start seeing those after these next 3 episodes. As always, this episode is brought to you by Matt's Mats. Matt's Mats are the acrylic 1-inch square grid system that we make ourselves. They are just phenomenal for playing D&D on, and they just make it so fun and so adventurous and so easy to play and modify and improvise. I can't tell you enough how cool it is, and if you keep watching our episodes on YouTube, you'll see that. You'll just see exactly how we use them and how they work. Please check out our site, criticalfail.com. That's critical with a 1 instead of an L, fail.com. And we will keep making these episodes and making these products as long as you guys are watching and commenting and having fun along with us. So let's get right back into it. We are down in the hole. We have just survived the toxic spore attack from the mushrooms, and we're going to make some new friends in Critical Fail, episode 20, Flumph. Or is it Flumph? Or Flumph? I don't know. Flumph! Flumph! The ground is uneven and kind of naturally hewn out marshy area. The bodies are jamming up this river that wants to flow through here. There's this faint smell of blood and rot, and there's definitely no silver.
Damn.
I know.
All that time.
I know. And there you are. And Urith, as you come to, you look right effing next to you is another one of these big things that just exploded. And cast, and you know what I mean? The other one blew up. This one over here is the one that blew up. And there's another one standing right next to you.
Blew up?
Yeah, the one of the floaty ones exploded and ruptured and sent those spores everywhere, and that's what washed over you guys earlier.
Oh.
And
the wave that I did is a 15-foot square or cube from my epicenter. So
all the way around you?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
So, gone and gone.
Gone and gone. The only problem is, so let's
more spores.
Let's do it this way. This is happening then in the blink of an eye. All this stuff evaporated, it turned around, and now you see a giant cloud of spores back where I just did that thing, and it's slowly starting to waft towards you. Like you blasted it back, right? Like with a concussive force, and it exploded, and now the air is trying to fill back in the air where it was from. And you guys have a matter of seconds to probably either run straight down or back up.
Run is the thing I'm saying at the moment.
Yeah. Let's go further down, shall we?
There's no time to talk, so you just tell me which way you go. You can just say down, up, whatever. But
I'm running up towards the rock.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go to the rock, too, because that big cloud is in between me and the other side of that cave.
All right. So we move us up to the rock?
Yeah, sure, for sure. Yep, you guys make your way stumbly and gross and nasty back up there.
He's extra gross. He was rolling.
I know. The amount of gore, whatever Liam used to be wearing, it appears to have been now, embroidered with ick. So that's his current state. And your germophobia really kind of comes swelling back at this moment. So there you be. Yep, you guys are back up there, rushing water, and yeah. What do you guys do?
Urith, do you know anything about these, the plants that just gave off those spores? Do you know how long the spores may stay in the air?
No.
And
actually, should I just do another intelligence check?
in character, I look at him and say, "Aren't you the ranger?"
Got a point.
Not an intelligent ranger.
Not an
You
underground
don't have a
ranger.
nature check?
3. I have no idea.
Nope.
No, yeah.
Nature.
So you guys are standing back up there now. Casting. You got your light source kind of still coming off of at least off of Urith. And just kind of bewilderingly wondering what to do next. How long will you guys wait there? What are you guys kind of thinking? It's been a minute, but what are you guys kind of?
Well,
Should we give it an hour?
the spores will have to fall to the ground eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my assumption would be, as long as we're on the, I'll say, sticky path, they won't be dusted back up and cause an
Sticky
issue, right? Because they'll be stuck to all the
On the
blood and gore.
That makes sense, sure.
So if we give it a while, we could follow the path again. Just, not leaving the path.
Just wait it out.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm thinking
does
too.
it-
Yeah.
So take a small rest, as I know Thornton and I have both taken damage.
Stand to patch myself up just a touch.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and do that, guys.
So what do you want me to do to patch?
How much damage have you guys taken?
I'm down 10.
I'm at 17. Yeah, I'm down
Okay.
9.
I'm gonna do a bardic rest then.
Okay. So you guys they get 1d6 additional.
Yep.
All right. 1d6.
1.
6.
Dang it!
Their relationship is diverted.
And then, is there anything I should roll for kind of patching myself up or no?
I don't know how long is a short rest? Do you get hit points?
It's an
back?
hour.
Yeah. So don't you get hit points back from that too?
Short rest?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Rest? Resting. 186. Short rest. A short rest is a period of downtime at least 1 hour, during which the character does nothing more strenuous than eating, drinking, reading, and tending to wounds. A character can spend 1 or more hit dice at the end of a short rest up to the character's maximum number of hit dice, which is equal to the character's level. For each hit dice spent, the player rolls the die, adds the character constitution modifier to it. The character regains the hit points equal to the total. The player can decide to spend an additional hit dice after each roll. The character regains some spent hit dice upon finishing a long rest, as explained below.
Do you ever regain hit dice after you use one?
After a long rest.
Or
Yeah.
only
After a long rest.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna use a hit die.
Yeah. Go ahead. You can use and that's a D10.
Yes.
Yep. And
What's the difference between this? All right.
that one's for percentages. So what that one is 98%, and if you roll the 0-0, that's
100.
that's either 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, 0-4. But if you roll a 0 on both of them, then it's 100%.
Okay.
But if you roll 0-1, it's 1%.
All right. 5.
So I do a d10 plus your constitution.
So 6.
Yep. And you guys can do as
So
many.
18 plus 6
This
is
is a 10, right?
22. Wait, what? No, 24. Oh god.
So you're all up
yeah,
one.
I'm
And did you,
8!
I'm happy with that.
I'm all the way up.
You're all the way up. And
and
Urith, are you full?
I was full already.
Okay, very cool. All right, so you guys are sitting there. What do you guys discuss? Anything that's happened, or you just kind of agree not to talk about it?
I'm gonna agree not to talk about it.
I'm
Yeah,
going
I
to
think so.
ask what everyone was eating.
I didn't eat anything.
I'm going to ask what Liam was eating.
A sandwich.
How you feeling? How's that gut?
Pretty good. I smell pretty bad, but otherwise I feel pretty good at the moment.
Do you concur?
Yeah, I can agree.
Yeah.
You're hungrier than you should be, considering the feast you had. But otherwise, you're okay.
Good. I got ringworm. Awesome.
Those are the kind of jokes you don't make in front of the DM because I'm like, of course he's got ringworm. No, I'm just kidding.
Keep eating those sandwiches you packed. You'll poop it out.
Yeah.
Dwarven fortitude. You have some dwarven ale that burns anything right out of
Right.
you. All right, so you guys are sitting there for a minute, and in the distance you hear, kind of like this, like
like if somebody hit like a pillow, two big pillows together, like softly, and then a few seconds later you hear, and it's coming from down like the Body River. Yep.
This way.
Down the Body River. Oh.
Okay.
Can I pick up a one of the legs of, or one of the bones or something of one of the dead things, cast light on it, and throw it further down the hall?
Yeah, for
so we
sure.
can see what's coming.
Yeah, fantastic. So you do so, and you huck it down there, and with like a wet, squishy sound, it lands some ways down here because they're kind of like standing there in the quiet, just watching the sound of rushing water behind you, the occasional drip, the occasional groan from the river of corpses, and in front of you comes one of these.
Spaghetti monster.
It is a spaghetti monster.
Okay, you
make-
get the
Yep, here's for the fans. Make a gosh, I want to call it a dwarf check. Make a intelligence roll plus like 7.
Oh, good, because my intelligence is -1.
Well, that's funny.
So 12.
All right. Well, fortunately, what I was having you check was not very difficult, so the check was 10. But I'm like, oh my gosh, you still tried to miss it. So as
Tried.
this thing that looks like just like a child's balloon with tendrils of different colors coming off of it, comes floating through. You remember tales of when you were a kid of like. If ever you get lost in the mines, look for the Flumphs. The Flumphs will help you. Always trust the Flumphs. And it was this thing of like these kind of mythical beings that almost look like beholders, but were not beholders, like floating. I don't want to say jellyfish because dwarves wouldn't really talk about jellyfish, but these things. It can only be this thing, and it's this amorphous kind of amoeba-looking thing floating towards you, and it kind of like swells its body up and then compresses itself and makes this floop noise and compels itself forward with a burst of air. And to all of you, there's almost this every directional kind of humming coming to you. This happy tune, like do 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 do, but like you realize it's like coming from all directions at once and from inside your head as this thing kind of floats towards you. Anybody
Shoot it in the face.
Okay,
Hold on.
that's fine.
Kill it with fire.
So these two move to attack.
Okay.
You can absolutely take it.
I'm actually going to ask if people want to just jump in the water and see what's under the shelf. Just avoid this thing altogether.
So Liam starts to go towards the shelf.
I'm going to mention that these are helpful,
Okay, yeah,
Things.
for sure, yeah.
and miners use them as such. Now, do they find your way out, or how are they helpful? Do I have that information?
Yeah, well, they are helpful in any way they can, and anything goodly, anything wholesome and whatever has nothing to fear from these creatures.
So it's probably best that Liam jumped in the water.
He knows I like to behead things.
Liam, you may or may not have jumped in the water. Are you like he?
I have not jumped in
Okay.
the water yet.
As you're poised, I'm like, whoa!
It's my notion to these other two that I'm not okay and I want to run.
Yeah. So Liam just starts to cry silently. I took my sandwich. So it floats up to you guys, and so I'm assuming you don't murder it.
Nope. I think it's fine. I'm actually fairly relieved to see something good.
Yeah, you've like never seen one of these before. They're very rare, but like it's as unmistakable as a dragon, which you've probably also never seen. Like it's just this kind of very mythological creature of dwarven lore. Your check was so low that that's about all I'm going to tell you. But you
But I'm happy.
yeah, for sure. It floats up to you, and especially you, Thornton, you can't help but feel a little bit more at ease, of course. It's just like this. It's like seeing a dolphin in the water. You feel no threat, and only like, oh my gosh, look at that, creature. And it floats up to you, and it, oh my god, I did have a different voice for these things in my mind. Let me think if I can remember what it is so they don't sound like everything else.
Sound like the whales on Finding Nemo.
I think that sounds good. How are you? It says, I am Mumph.
Well met, Mumph.
It says it looks at you for a second, and you realize that no part of its body is moving, and that its voice is coming from inside your head. And it says, "Well met, Thornton." It says, "Meeting you is like a pleasant meal." That sparks something in your brain. That these things feed off of energy, mental energy, but not in a detrimental, like a vampire feeds off you, you die. These things just like live like off wasted ambient energy, and it is their curse to almost always be surrounded by evil things and feeding off their energy, which is sustenance but gross, but like a hero, a noble, true, being, especially one of Ula, could only be.
So it was drawn to us after we got rid of the mushrooms.
Probably stands
Like it.
stands keen. So it rolls up to you. It's like, "You are lost down here, aren't you?"
Well, we know
Dwarf is never lost.
there's bodies this way and a wall that way, and that seems to be upriver, so that's got to be a source of water.
River.
For sure. Let me tell you that the most direct way out is back this way, but it is not, how we say, easy, but it is your best bet. Would you like to come to my home and rest up before I send you on your way?
Are we saying like human not easy or dwarf not easy?
And it goes, "Ho, ho, ho, good one." It's like a really slow version of the Queen of England or something, I don't know. But yes, come for some tea. And kind of just starts to float back down the way it came.
I'm good following it.
Okay. Start following it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dwarf is my meat shield, so I'm gonna follow him.
There's less water, and
But more dead bodies.
as far as I know, less bad. I
For
guess.
sure. Yeah, this thing, like, as it turns and, like, follows and you're kind of, like, are having those kind of thoughts, like, this seems like the best thing. It kind of almost, like, breathes in and shudders and sighs, like, just this contented thing, like Liam looks after his fourth sandwich, just this, like, very happy and kind of happy thing. And it starts floating down.
Now, does he give off light?
Could you get rid of that?
This one?
He does not give off light.
So can I light a torch
Absolutely.
as we're walking along behind
Do you
him?
want to just pick up the limb that he lit and threw?
Oh yeah, perfect. I'll just pick that up
Yeah.
halfway through.
He just dwarvenly hands it to
Or,
you.
the bone. That was a bone.
Yeah, the bone.
Yeah. Here we go.
Good, sir.
Save a torch.
Well, decent. Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Acceptable, gentleman.
So you guys make your way back down. That's what I was looking for. Matt, would you fill in that river with water?
We're back to water.
Yep. A really kind of gross and brackish water, unfortunately, but the bodies finally reached their critical mass. That's where they just seem to get jutted up to. Like, it seems like where the bodies had stopped, there was a rapids there with rocks and stuff, and they just kind of started building up there like the world's worst, most hideous beaver dam. And you guys, make your way through, and you guys, of course, see the wreckage from your battle with the fungi. There are still some fungi, but very firmly fixed on the ground. You keep a wary eye, and the light sources from that you guys are carrying Kessie's eerie, huge shadows against the cavern wall behind him of giant fungi, but nonetheless, they don't fart on you anymore. And your friend Mumph leads you down, and just assuming you guys keep following, it has you guys wade across the river there. Let me do this because it's fun. Oops. Oh, it's upside down. Could you flip it over and tell me? Yeah.
Dude.
I know, just totally messing up my mats.
He's drawing the line.
Damn it.
You just drew. Oh, you did draw it in the line.
It might come out look cleaner.
It probably will. Note to self.
So as you guys are walking, you can't, like in the distance comes this like purple and blue like luminescence that at first it just seems to be coming out of nowhere. Then as you get closer, you notice that there are these vines growing down from the cavern ceiling up beyond where you can see. And embedded in the vines, but as though grown into them, are these like crystals, and they're glowing this bluish kind of purplish light. And as Mumph and you guys walk in there, the crystals kind of pulse brighter. And as they pulse brighter, it reveals two more Flumphs Flumphs that are sitting there who float up. Could you arrange your guys around that, Matt? And it leads you back, and it's very, very clearly kind of this, little nest or little area, this kind of like Christmassy light kind of feeling like area of luminescence, and they lead you through the vines and lead you back into this area where there's very little else there, but it leads you a little ways in, and Mumph says to you, "Please welcome to my home. This is Bumph," and it indicates to the orange Flumph, and Bumph says, "Hello, I am Bumph." And then Bump indicates to the remaining yellow one and says, "That is Fred." And Fred says, "What up?" And and looks at you guys. And Mumph says, "Please, sirs, come on in. Have a seat. How can we help you?"
I'm doing fine, actually.
I don't think we need
Pretty good shape. Well, I mean, just
Other than
to
we're-
leave.
We're
That's-
miles and miles down in the middle of a mountain. We have no
Yeah.
escape.
I guess an explanation of how deep we are and how far we are from an exit would be great.
"I would say you are..." And Fred interjects, "Like 2 days from the surface that way. About a month upriver."
So, not
Well.
upriver.
Yeah. Fred says, "Yep." And Bump says, "Yes, it is a very treacherous path either way, but should you continue your noble quest, we will be able to arm you with not only knowledge, but perhaps tools to help you along the way."
This piqued my interest. I no longer
What
have a
kind
bag.
of tools?
I'd be curious. Yeah.
Well, before we get to this, and it looks over at Liam, especially, and it says, "You appear to have become, through fairly physically unharmed, but mentally, you have been through a lot. The corpses, the pit of sacrifice, the inept witch, the lies and deception of man weigh on your soul, do they not?"
He's fine.
I don't think so.
You know, good.
No.
It's like
Fuck it off.
it's like it's like very well then. And how about you, Firebard? You are perhaps not accustomed to things so garish. Are you finding this to be an exciting adventure?
Yes, I have found this exciting, but very tiresome
Well,
or treacherous. Yeah.
sure. Let us offer you this. We will give you some information for your journey, and we will give you tools to help you along your way. In exchange, we ask for 6 things, 3 of which are for you all to rest here and be safe and to feel secure before going on your treacherous journey. And the other 3 is each of you must tell us your favorite childhood memory.
Well, how long do we need to rest?
They
Just a long rest?
Yeah, like a long rest.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
And though you guys are obviously sturdy and not bothered by anything, including a body of river of bodies, I will have to roll it up higher next time. Maybe I'll massacre some wolves. You do start to feel the tension in your shoulders kind of fade away, and the whatever you've been through kind of easing off a little bit, just in this kind of sanctuary. What were you going to say, Urith?
What was I going to say?
I thought you were going to say something.
No.
Okay.
well, a long rest sounds good to me.
Okay.
I could stand to regain some hit dice and spells and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. So, as to fulfill the part that isn't resting, would be, I come from a mining town where my family brewed many wonderful beers.
Mm-hmm.
There was one particular beer that I had a hand making with my father that was so good and so beneficial that our yields from the mines went up noticeably while we had those barrels.
That's amazing. It says, "Your dwarven lineage as a brewmaster must be very proud and deep."
I have been keeping an eye out for some brewing supplies this whole time.
We haven't got that. But please rest and take a load off, and we will send you on your way.
All right, I find a little spot to sit, and I kind of sit down and
The
make
two,
myself comfortable.
with a small excretion of air, the Flumps turn and look at Urith.
Let's see, my favorite childhood memory. I would have to say that was at the Bard School when I was younger, and I was doing a competition for the class as we were ending the semester, and we had to play for our instructors, and we were rivaled against each other, and my arch nemesis Dietrich was rivaled against me. Mm-hmm. And the two of us had a ferocious battle of chords, and I came out victorious on top of that. To this day, he still despises me for it.
Well,
That is my happy childhood memory.
Fred says, "Nothing like a good rival to bring out the best in you, huh?"
Yes, I very much agree.
Very well. And then they look to you, Liam, Ghost Fist. Yep, turning with the.
This should be entertaining.
My most fondest childhood memory is
Let me guess, it was when the wolves picked you up?
is when I was 8, and I was cold and hungry inside of a cave, and a wolf came in and dropped a rabbit at my feet, and gave me food to eat, which I still have the foot of that rabbit today with me.
Very cool. Very cool. Like an astral tear almost like kind of seems to fall from the eye of Flumph, and as that creature looks at you and says, "Truly a beautiful moment when nature embraced you." The area has now noticeably started to glow even brighter, and it's just bathing the area in this purplish bluish light. And you guys can rest up and be healed up, spells up, everything good to go.
Back to normal?
Back to normal.
All right.
After you guys decide however long you're gonna stay there. Is there anything you guys want to discuss amongst yourselves before moving on, or are you guys?
Yeah, I'd like to go over to Urith and talk in private about how weird Fred is, and get his take on what he thinks is wrong with Fred. Because the dwarf would probably take offense to it, but I just want to know what the other human feels about this whole situation.
All right.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with him. He's just an inner city guy.
Fred said, from inside your head, you hear, "I can hear you, you know." He says to you, "Sorry I'm not as polished and clean as these other two yahoos, but I'm a pretty good guy. It does so happen that a couple 100 years ago I used to be a wizard from New Jersey, and I got turned into one of these things, but I found my new life quite satisfying. Thank you very much."
Okay.
Well, there you have it.
Don't mess with Fred. All right.
Fred, what's weird though is
Shanks in the back pocket.
No, what's funny though? After that discussion, Fred actually kind of seems to be by you and tries to start a friendly conversation with you, almost like as though your abrasiveness rubbed him the right way. You know what I mean? He's like, "Here's one of my guys." And he just has that kind of like respectful, kind of just sits next to you, giving you the big old Flumph nod with a puff of air, and whatever. You guys spend some time here, and you guys are time passes, and you're about to leave. And here is the knowledge that they bestow upon you. They let you know that you are in a supply cavern of a long lost dwarven community. Dwarves and I want to say but not goblins. Gnomes. You lived together here and worked, created very fascinating machines and dug deep and made intricate works and found jewels and riches, and this was one of their the deeper supply routes. And so up ahead is the outskirts of this dwarven community and Mecca, and They say the name of it has long lost slipped away from the from memory, but it was, many generations ago, a place of great pride and wonder. But it has simply fallen under, has been abandoned and fallen under the rule of evil denizens. The Flumphs themselves have not been able to journey almost at all from where they were. They now think that they might be able to get out over the river of corpses because the evil energy of the fungi has been eradicated enough that they can do that, and that for which they are very grateful, though they have decisions to make. But pursuing the other way is out of the question for them unless you guys are successful. And they inform you that up ahead will be the ruins of this keep and a tower that starts to rise towards the surface, this supply tower where they would take things up, but that you have to be careful because the path has very many monsters and many traps along the way, and that the only thing that they can tell you for sure is that at the bottom of it is you must beware the ooze, but be strong. And they advise you to walk together with confidence to survive the Nothic. And a Nothic, to those who would know, is just this like malevolent kind of neutral underdwelling creature that looks for weakness, and they're advising you to stay strong, to at least get past that. They also say, almost in these like riddly kind of tones, but again, and the first trap, stay within the circle, is what they say. And so those are the things that they've bestowed upon you as far as knowledge goes. In the meantime, Flumph, who is not the one talking to you, has brought over a chest and then a giant like sack. And it's kind of, on the outside, it's very grungy and gory and like nasty. Like it's been like just recruited from like a long time ago from this river. But within it, they start pulling out clean, upkept supplies, and they will actually outfit you with whatever was in your bag before. They will outfit.
No brewer supplies is what you're telling me.
Sure. No, would you say no brewer supplies?
No brewer.
No brewer supplies, unfortunately. Just did not make its way down here. But reading your thoughts, one of them says, but surely up ahead there may be some remnants of brewers past. Hopefully, maybe.
If there were dwarves here, there were brewers.
There were brewers. Oh my! It's
I
like
know that
shit and brewers are the two things, Yeah, so they say that, and then you didn't lose anything.
Nope.
What did you lose, Urith?
I lost my rapier
Okay,
And your money.
And your money.
and my monies.
All right, they actually will bring out a small pouch of gems that is worth about twice as much as the money you lost, and give it to you, Urith, just knowing what you lost. But they will not offer to replace your rapier. They just
Okay.
whatever.
You did find another one.
I've got
And then they bring out a couple more things to aid you on your journey. When you fire an arrow, like as it hits, if you say, "I love frilly lilies," a second arrow of magical energy will follow immediately on the heel.